What is this place you see? There are three dinosaurs, brachiosauruses. The male is sleeping. So, she's not sleeping anymore. Their son is digging a hole. So they haven't had a drink in a long time. Because they noticed that there's a Gigantosaurus in the river, so they have to dig. They had a little lake right here, but the water is drying up.
The water flows into their little lake.
Then they have a drink. But then
the sun is not thirsty.
They fall asleep while the sun plays. But he does not know. They do not know. He wanders off
through the rock deserts and reaches the plains, where a Parasaurolophus is digging.
So he walks up and talks to the Parasaurolophus. Meanwhile, the Brachiosauruses they wake up in shock. The sun is gone.
Not only is their sun gone, but the river is not flowing. It's staying in the lake. And the lake is drying. A drought is hitting.
They have to dig. Dig a lot.
Water may rise, but it may not. They know water has been found underwater.
Back at the real lake, a waterfall is going. And there is a Gigantosaurus who is drinking. He sees a prey. Spit! It burns. He goes into the water.
But that does not help. It is acid.
He runs away. He has a drink, but then he notices the Brachiosauruses.
The water is again starting to flow, but it will be a while till it reaches the Brachiosaurus.
He pounces at the
female. An old male is too much for him to handle. You run.
But then he sees easier prey over the grass. He walks through the rock deserts.
Parasaurolophus roars and runs. The baby follows.
But then he gets his hands on the baby.
But he has made a friend. His friend has met his demise.
He hasn't had a meal in weeks.
Months even. Now, the lake may seem dirty, but it's clean enough for a dinosaur to drink.
So, goes back over.
But sees the Dilophosaurus is still there.
So?
But it is sleeping. He decides to get a quick drink.
Then he takes the Dilophosaurus out somewhere he will never, ever remember. Then he sees a Spinosaurus who is resting. But he sees raptors. At least they're asleep. So he goes in for the kill. But he sees the little Brachiosaurus, which will be easier to kill.
Except for its unique speed.
Then the parents noticed. They grabbed their baby.
And ground him for a month.
And then
They
they
run
go
for
to
it,
the watering hole.
where they will wash off. They're quite muddy, as you can see.
The baby almost drowned, but the mother stayed. He goes to the shallow end. He finds a pit where he can swim, where the waterfall starts. He goes to the bottom. Then he comes back up and he splashes his mom and dad. They say, no, 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 no. And then, meanwhile, the pile of over here, he sees the Dinosaurs. He has been out here for days, stranded, and he sees the Brachiosauruses in his territory. He walks up, and the baby sees him. He runs away. His parents notice. They're like, why are you running away again? He hides.
Little does he know, his parents are dead.
He hasn't had a good feast in years. But first,
Well, weeks. He can't
needs-
last a year without food.
he needs a
And he
drink.
sees the waterfall slowing down.
But he sees a pit. Then he eats his feast.
Then it starts to start the waterfall up again.
He drinks.
Really hard though.
He drinks.
It washes him out to the lake.
And then he notices he's really tired from his big journey. He starts to dig. So there's a bit more water where he will sleep.
The waterfall stopped again.
He does not know what is going on.
Then
He
it
washes
stopped.
himself.
Slowly, it goes slowly, but
So he washes himself off from digging. Then he takes the meals into his sleeping zone so no one will take them. Then he rests. After, he just takes a drink before he does.
although Dinosaurs do not need to drink like that, they go underwater and drink.
Yeah.
He does not feel like that right now. He feels like scaring dinosaurs away.
Meanwhile, Tyler. Dinosaurs.
There is a Stegosaurus, you mean? He has lost his herd. They were killed by the Gigantosaurus.
And he got stuck in a rose bush. But so thankfully, he's so strong, he got out. He went to a berry bush. You may not see the berries because they are tiny. He eats. Then he eats some grass, but he notices
A Gigantosaurus.
he walks up.
He runs in the direction to scare it off. But all that does is make it more eager to kill him. But thanks to its bright colors, he can't. But he managed to get up there. So did the Gigantosaurus.
But he started to run. Oh no, he's stuck. He got unstuck.
But the Gigantosaurus is way too heavy and falls almost. Then loses its claws.
Then
It is most certainly dead.
he finds a little water pot that he can drink from. He hasn't had a drink in weeks or months.
He decides to have a really shallow bath.
Then he sees the watering hole. He goes to it.
With the Gigantosaurus roaring in pain.
The other dinosaurs that are here, they do not hear.
Well, really, they can't because they're dead or asleep.
So he goes into the creek that everyone was drinking out of and has a bath. Then he notices he needs to go to the toilet. Uh-oh. He needs to run. He needs to run and get somewhere. He's caught. Here's Dinosaurs. He finds a toilet pot. Well, that looks like a toilet. He's raptors. He runs and hides. He goes up here where the raptors cannot reach. Meanwhile, staring at the raptors, they've had sleep. Now it's mating season. The boys, which are two over here, are fighting over the last girl that has not been mated.
Or died.
If they have dirt on them, they get more love. So, this
Because
one...
it looks like they are tougher and mean.
dirt.
And it makes them look like a good father, like it would protect anything.
And she chose this one. That one was mad. He angrily said, "I want to be your leader."
But the male that got chosen is the alpha. If they have to fight to choose who is the best alpha.
The female is sad.
The one who doesn't have the dirt on him wins, okay? The one without the dirt is one. The male chooses him again. Chooses him.
And then the female opens. Then, meanwhile, back at the watering hole, there is Jshdgdggd. But this one sadly has died.
He is fallen.
He fell into the river. But there is another Jshdgdggd. He comes flying. He sees the lake. Well,
He swoops down and grabs a fish.
But he notices his son. He goes down. He tries to get him back on. He can't. So he has to dig. He has to go underwater. This is a hard thing.
Until next time!